Good morning, it's me. I'm back. I'm Stephanie Flath, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm coming to you live on my business page, facebook.com/dazzled by stamping, and it is 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, July 7th. Sorry, I had to look at the calendar on my computer so that I could see it. Oh, Linny's on already. Hi, Linny. I'm gonna refresh this so I can see comments a second. So you can find me every Wednesday here. I say this every week, but I don't know who new is watching, so I just want to make sure you know. So you can find me every Wednesday morning on my Facebook page, and you can find me any other time on my website at dazzledbystamping.com. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Linny. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm staying nice and cool under my fan and with my hair up. It's up a lot in the summer. I get hot so easily. I think it's supposed to be cooling down soon, but anyway, I like having the air on to come into. Let's see, so our designer paper sale is underway. I actually do have it printed, but it's not, but it's near. I'm gonna get it, just a second. I printed the flyer. And the designer papers that are on sale are Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, hand penned, In Good Taste, In the Wild, Pansy Petals, Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas, which is a 6x6 one, and You're a Peach. Good morning, Marlene. Oh, hi, Cheryl. How are you? I miss you. I miss lots of you, actually. So anyway, those are on sale. Oh, you're welcome, Marsha. I finally got it out. Wasn't it an old one? I feel like you were one of my old ones. I don't think that I had mailed any Happy Mail from my lives since Maui. I finally, can you believe this? This is how ridiculous it is. I feel really badly, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything about it because it's just so much. I had not sent thank yous or birthday cards. I still haven't sent birthday cards. I think I may have gotten one out to one of my nephews early in the year, kind of, but I have not sent out birthday cards or thank yous, thank you cards, all year since the beginning of the year. It's just been crazy. I said to Todd, I was working on him last week, that was one of my projects. I said to Todd, I've sent more cards out in the past week or two than I have in 6 months. In fact, I bought, I don't know if any of you noticed this that may have gotten some, I bought some winter scenes stamps, probably at Christmas time when I was getting ready to mail out Christmas cards and then thinking ahead for other kinds of cards and whatever. I still used up my winter stamps in the past week or two. It's pretty bad. I mean, I usually go through stamps like crazy, and anyway, I've not been mailing much, and that needs to change, but then there's this backlog of stuff. So okay, so I'm going to switch gears and go to my randomizer. I have everybody set up that told me that they shared last week. And now I gotta pull it up. So what am I sharing again? Oh, yeah, I think it's either a hello friend or a thank you friend card. I don't remember which one I made on my live. there's with the embossing folders is what I used. I love those embossing folders. Okay, so I'm starting my randomizer. I'm picking 2 names. I have my pen so I can write it down. Ooh, Dot won again. Yay! I think she won last week too, or at least recently. Congratulations, Dot. Something popped up in my way. All right, now I need to do it one more time. Pick another name and start. That's true, Nancy. Thanks for... Oh, and Marlene won. Yay. Marlene, I still owe you. I'm giving you the Party Puffin, the Post-it note, this easel Post-it note holder. So I didn't want to mail that. I decided I was going to see you soon enough, so I'm holding on to that. So I'll have a card and a Party Puffin easel Post-it note holder. Okay. Congratulations, ladies. And let me find my way back to Facebook. There it is. Okay. So I told you... I forgot my water too. I'm gonna need to get up again. Just a second. I'm so sorry. There's one close. I forgot to grab it on my way by. Good morning, Marcia. I have 2 Marcias on today. That happens fairly often, but I don't know if you can see each other. I didn't want my first Marcia to think that I was just telling her good morning for the first time. So I had something really weird happen yesterday, and I may have gotten an answer early this morning. I was up when Todd was up. Todd had a softball game last night, so I went to it. Of course, I go to those whenever I'm available, and I didn't have a class last night, so I went and I brought a bottle of water, and I'm glad you're excited, Marlene. I brought a bottle of water, and I took a drink of it, and it sort of made a tickle in my throat or something like that, and so I went to cough to clear my throat, and the cough that came out, I was like, where did that come from? It was this big, throaty, horrible cough, like I had been smoking or had a horrible cold or something like that. And I'm like, where did that come from? Nothing has been going on. I'm feeling fine, and I don't know what it was. And I kept coughing, and there was just something there. I kept coughing, and I would drink my water and cough and drink my water, and I knew it was annoying me, and there was this one of the players' kids was there, and he looked at me. He's like 5, I think. He looked at me, he goes, "Are you sick?" I'm like, I don't know. Well, okay, so this kept going on, and I realized, so I did most of the game like that, and when I got in the car, and I was still coughing and drinking and whatever, not like every second, but it was just always there. Something was going on. And I told Todd, I said, I don't know what's going on. And then I said, it's almost like it's asthma related. It's weird. And so I used my inhaler, and I have a maintenance inhaler that I use morning and night. But my emergency one, I haven't used that in months and months, and it's so weird. So I used it, I drank my water bottle the rest of the way home, coughed and drank and whatever, and anyway, by the time, at some point I got home and I was better. Well, so then this morning, I'm not always paying attention to the TV, I just like to have it on. This morning, it caught my ear, Todd had it on the news, that there was an ammonia spill in Wyoming, which I'm in Wyoming, and it's like miles away where it was at, and we kind of headed in that direction. I don't know if the wind went that way. Anyway, what caught my ear was I heard ammonia and it didn't really hit me, and then they said something about causing asthma-related problems and stuff like that. And I turned around and I said to Ted, when did that happen? When and where did that happen? And I'm wondering if that was it, because like I'm fine. I don't know. It was just weird. So I'm thankful that I'm not sick. It went away eventually. It was back in my air conditioning, but I'm wondering if somehow, like, it happened at noon yesterday and we were at the game at 7 o'clock, and I don't know if like some of the chemicals just headed to Kentwood area, because that's where we were. Like, I don't know, but I'm glad I'm not sick. I was kind of worried, like, what's going on? Okay, enough gabbing. At least gabbing about random things, you know. So I'm going to show you a couple projects. I want to focus on designer paper since we have a designer paper sale going on. I love some of our designer papers. They're amazing. I guess I didn't pull the other one that I'm going to show. There's one. It seems like it's here. I just saw it. Sorry. I meant to pull this. I saw it last night and then I didn't. I'm sort of off camera. I'm sorry. Okay. So I have these swatch books that I showed you. Oh, hi Terry and hi Carrie. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to grab the other one that I'm using today so you can see all of it in there. And anybody who's watching and interested, demonstrators that are on, you can tell me if there's anything different today. There's this really pretty designer paper that everybody fell in love with. It's called Expressions in Ink. Excuse me, it's been non-orderable for a while. Last I checked, which was yesterday, it's still non-orderable, but so anybody who's interested in that and waiting, it's still non-orderable unless one of you lovely demonstrators that follow me tell me otherwise. Okay, so I'm focusing on designer paper, and I'm just going to show you the things that I'm using as I go. I'm showing you a pretty, a fun fold card. I made it my own from, I think it was actually a sympathy card from a friend of mine. Anyway, it's really pretty. It's really easy too. It uses quite a bit of designer paper, but anyway, I love it. So I'm going to be showing you the things I'm going to be using. I'm just going to show you as I go rather than a lot of times I'll show you ahead of time. So I'm going to put you down. I'm going to get a drink quick first. No sense putting you down looking at paper for no reason. Much better to watch me drinking water, right? What does S6 mean? S6. Oh, shared. Did your little fat fingers go too fast? That's funny, Debbie. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to put you down. Hit my wand. Unbackward you. Put you upside down. And then get you closer. Okay. So, the first designer paper that I'm going to be working with is Peaches. Both of these designer papers you've seen already. I'm using the Your Peach designer paper, but I don't think that I had these swatch books when I showed this last time. So I'm going to show you the swatch book that I have. I could make one of these easily, but I buy them from another demonstrator who makes them for me. And then she buys all the designer paper, and oh, thanks for sharing already, Terry. And so then I have these swatch books so that we all can see all the designs up close and personal. Okay, so this is Your Peach. There's flowers and peaches and stripes and polka dots and I think pear pizzazz or old olive, coral, I think that's balmy blue, and Calypso Coral and Papaya. The cool thing about, oh yeah, I got most of them. The cool thing about these swatches is all the colors are right on the front too, so that you can see what colors to coordinate with it. So that's helpful. So I'm using Your Peach, and I'm actually with this, I'm using the bundle as well. So this is Calypso Coral, and I'm gonna do something, I wanna show both sides of this designer paper, and I'm doing something a little bit different. I didn't make 2 cards, so I don't have a piece to just do this. I'm actually cutting, I don't want to just turn a corner down. I want to cut a corner off and flip it. But in order for me to do that, I need it to be equilateral. So that means, or at least isosceles, it doesn't have to be equilateral. It doesn't have to be all angles are the same, but it has to be that 2 sides are the same. So I measured, this is 3 3/4 inches wide. So I measured down 3 3/4, and I'm going to double check that I did that correctly. Oh, it's not quite correct. Gonna have to go short on it. All right, just a sec. I'm checking on the other end so that I can 3 3/4. Oh, it's okay here. Why is it not okay here? I'm just gonna go short a little bit. Okay, so now that I have the, so I have a tiny little dot here where I want to cut. So I'm gonna cut this angle so that this side equals this side. So I'm lining up, am I in camera? Yep. So I'm lining up this corner with this dot. And I'm gonna cut it. So now these 2 sides are equal, so I can flip this to have it fit correctly in this spot. If I had just gone corner to corner, it would only work if I had another sheet and did the same, and then just flip them. I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, that's how I had to do this. So I'm going to attach these to my piece of white here. I do much better with this seal adhesive. I have a tiny little border here on purpose. That's the way I wanted it. I do much better with this seal when it's newer and when I do the tipping forward. That is way better than if I just try to stop and pick it up. Some people say that you can just stop. You just have to stop, but it doesn't work for me as well. Okay, so I'm putting this here. So I have both my peaches and my polka dots on here. And then this is gonna go on my Calypso Coral card base. So I'm just kind of getting my card base set up. Okay, now I have this piece here that I'm going to stamp with the peaches. I'm just doing, we're gonna see how it looks. I'm just doing the peaches themselves. I'm not gonna do the leaves. Hopefully that looks okay with what else I'm gonna do on it. So I'm inking this up in the Pale Papaya, but instead of like sort of tapping around with the Calypso Coral, what I'm doing instead is, some of you might not be very confident in your getting the edges. I'm going to use my sponge dauber and just daub some coral on here. And I'm not worrying too much about the transferring the color, because remember I started with my light color and then I'm adding the dark on top of it, so I'm not worried too much about my light getting onto my dark. Okay, I'm going to close these up. All right, we're going to put our peaches on here. There we go. I am just going to leave them that way. We're going to go with that. Okay, and then, so one of the, I gotta find them. One of the sets of dies I'm using, this isn't brand new. It was, I think, in the last mini. This is stitched with Whimsy Dies. So they don't cut out anything. They just give this wiggly stitching on it. So I'm gonna use this small one. It's kind of medium. This. I'm gonna use this on here. I need to get my mini boss here a second. So I'm going to do my stitching on here. And run it through. And I have it on a pad, which I do right now. It doesn't like to stay put very well. Oops. Okay. Can you see the whimsical stitching? Okay, so I'm gonna put this over here. All right, there's a piece here. So I already stamped this and die cut this. Can you see it? It says, hope your day is as. So this is in Pale Papaya, and it's the die from, I'm using all sorts of things all over the place here. Now, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. It's this little die from, these are the Peach dies that go with that bundle. So I used that already. And I'm gonna stamp Sweet as a Peach. Where'd my memento go? Oh, I got too much. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put, oh, before I do, I'm going to wrap it with ribbon. Where'd my ribbon go? I love this ribbon, so I'm going to be using this ribbon again. So I'm just going to, rather than do it around this one around the whole card, I'm just doing a little knot around this piece that I'm going to attach. I'll tie it and then I'll get it out of the way of the words. Am I in camera? I'm not in camera. That's the unfortunate thing about having my camera down so low, is if I go down too far, then you can't see me. Okay. So this is the Pale Papaya ribbon. And I want to put dimensionals on here. Where are my regular dimensionals? My mini ones are here. Seriously, they are the most common thing that I lose, especially while I'm live for some reason. Okay. So this is a tiny piece, but I'm putting it all over and 4 corners in the middle. That's the way I want it. So I'm going to put these on here. And I like it to be sort of, I want it to be across both designer papers. Now this one, I'm going to put adhesive just on, I need to get this started though, especially with it being so skinny. I'm going to put adhesive just on this end, and then I'm going to use a mini dimensional to the other end because it's going to hang off. Okay. There. So I have, hope your day is as sweet as a peach. Am I in camera? Oh, good. Sorry, all of a sudden I realized when I'm never sure if I'm in camera. Oh, and I want to, I'm going to use these on the other project, but I want to use a different one on this one. So I was noticing, I want, like I said, I wanted it to be across both designs, but this is kind of blank up here, so I'm going to use some of this bling. These are the Elegant Faceted Gems again, and this is actually Petal Pink, I believe, but it looks like the Papaya also. So I'm gonna use big ones on here and little ones on here. Maybe I'll do a little one down here too. There we go. Okay, here's my peachy card. Thank you, Marcia. Okay, so that's the first one. The next one, this is the one that I do not want this cushion. I have this great big cushion that was given to me. It's like our paper piercing mat, but it's this size of this paper. Okay, so the next one, I did this one for my at my team meeting, and I changed it up just a tiny bit. Oh, thanks for sharing, Janet. Appreciate it. Okay, so this is another one from, I gotta double check. Yeah, this is Pansy Petals. I think I showed you this last week because I used this last week also, but I'm using a different design in it. Oops, I have two pieces, but I just want to show you these designs up close. So the designer paper sale is going on through August 2, and these select designer papers are discounted 15%. Oops. So here's the design that I have. And I made another card ahead of time with this. I was going to make 3 cards, and then I thought it would take too long, so I didn't want to do that. Okay, so this piece, well, first of all, I'm going to show you, I'll show you this piece in a second. I want to get my card base together first. So these are some of the colors that are in this design. It's Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, Soft Seafoam, and Soft Succulent. So I think, is that all of them? 1, 2? They are. All 5 of the new in colors are in here. That's amazing. Probably specifically in this page. But I'm using Blackberry Bliss and Bumblebee. And I'm going to put these together. These are barely different sizes. One is the standard 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then this designer paper is 5 1/4 inches wide, and this is, I have to do the math just a second. So it would be 11 3/4 inches long. Now I have this scored at 4 inches, so I'm going to use my bone folder to crease it. And then I have this scored at 8 inches. and then 3/4 of an inch is cut off. So that's why it's 11 and 3/4. Now I'm going to do something to make this pretty, but I'm going to put this down first so that I don't get confused. So I have this, I want my, my short end to be on the top and to the left. So it's going to open like this. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put my adhesive here. And put this down. I didn't leave much room for the Bumblebee. Oh, it is better when it's, I must have made this score line just a little bit too close in. That will show the Bumblebee better. Okay, so here's this. Now, I have 2 pieces of white. One is bigger than the other. Let me see. Oh, I don't have the... Let me look here. This one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I want 5 1/4 inches long, because that's the same height as this. And this is still 4 1/4 because I'm going to do a border on here. This one is 3 1/4 by 5, because this is going to be the inside of the card. I'll give you measurements later if you want to do this. So basically, just so you know, you basically only get 2 cards out of the designer paper doing it this way. Okay? So here's my card. It's pretty simple. What I want to do is put a pretty border on here. And I'm going to use, I've used these borders before. So this is the basic borders dies. Yeah, basic borders dies. So I used the zigzag or chevron before, and oh, I used this. I think it makes me think of an envelope one. I've used that before. This time I'm going to use this little scalp edge. All of these have stitching on it, which I love. And I'm going to get my Big Boss out here a second. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it. I'm going to try. Okay, there's my hand. Okay, so this piece of white that I showed you, I want to go, I'm going to go in just a little bit because I left enough extra here that I could go in a little bit. When we made it with my team, I had an extra 1/4 of an inch left on here, and so we didn't have room to go in very far, but I want this to go in a little bit and cut off some of that extra. And then, oops, both my mats are here, so I need one on top. Okay, so I'm gonna press this down. Oh, that didn't work. Just a second. Excuse me, it doesn't help when my pads are bowed, but I'm cheap and I don't want to replace them. I have them, I have new ones here, but I haven't broken down and gotten it out. Okay, so I'm going to try to go straight on here. Did I do it? I think so. Okay, so we're going to get this through. Now I had to use the Big Boss rather than the Mini Boss because you can only get, I don't remember the size. I'll say 3 inches, 3.5 inches width in the Mini Boss. Okay, so here is my, can you see the scalloped and stitched on my hand? So this is the edge that I wanted. And now what I'm going to do, I don't need that anymore. Now what I'm going to do is, so here's my card still. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this flap. This is going to be the stability for this front piece. So kind of it's the card front. And I want to go like this. So I'm going to make sure that I'm at the right spot. I don't want it to be too big for the card, and I don't want it to be I don't want this plain edge to be out here. Okay, so if you had some dies that were lacy, you could make a lacy border here, but I just wanted this little scallop border here, so I have this card. So I'm going to put some bling on here and some greetings and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm using one more set of dies here, but it's a common one that I use, but I don't usually use these particular dies. So these are Stitched So Sweetly. I've been using all sorts of stuff. But I'm using these dies over here. I don't often use these. I usually use the rectangles. But I'm using this second and third one here. So I have Blackberry Bliss cut out in this, and I have this one cut out. So so I don't forget, before I do this, I'm going to put some ribbon around here, make it look pretty. So just the front flap. Trying to make it short enough so I don't have so much to cut off down here. Okay, making this here. So this is the Fresh Freesia ribbon. They're all the same. They're called Open Weave. They're available in all 5 of the newest in colors. Oops, can't get this going here. And you can finagle it a little bit. I want it to be, like typically I would have my ribbons sort of going this way, but I want it to be this way. Oh, hi, Kathy. So I'm going to, okay, so I have this at the bottom here. Get my ribbon out of the way. This border die out of the way. All right. So this is my card so far. And I'm going to put my greeting on top of here. So I decided to use, again, one more product. Oh, I've used this one already also. This is Inspired Thoughts, and I'm making this a sympathy card. Partly because it's pretty, partly because it's what fit in what I wanted to use. So, and unfortunately, every one of us needs one of those sometimes. Okay, so I'm using with Heartfelt Sympathy on the front, and I'm actually going to use black. I thought about using Blackberry Bliss, but I just decided I wanted black. Oh, that's good. Okay. So I have Heartfelt Sympathy. And then to dress it up a little bit, oh, and I'm going to do the inside first before I move on to dressing that up. And then the words I'm putting inside are sheltering you with love at a time when words fall short. That is so much truth right there. It really should say sheltering you with prayers, love and prayers. You just don't have the right words sometimes. There we go. Okay. So I have my outside, I have my inside, and before I sort of put it all together with this piece, I'm going to use my fresh freesia, and these tiny, tiny little flowers are actually from the Peach set, I think. I'm going to double check. Where'd my Peach set go? I don't see it. I'm hiding it somewhere. I just know it. There we are. Okay, so these are the tiny little flowers that I'm using. I thought about using these, but this is a fairly small piece on here. And anyway, so I wanted to use that because I wanted to add a little bit of color to it. So this is the fresh freesia, and I'm just going to add it here, and I'm going to add it inside too. Cheryl, if Cheryl's still on, she would be so proud of me that I don't have naked insides. She always stamps her inside so beautifully. I decided I preferred it full on, not in fact, I'm going to try to go over this again. Not stamped off. Perfect. Okay. Am I in camera? I'm not in camera. So here's my thing. Okay, now I don't like double dimensionals, so I'm gonna put this straight on to this, and then put dimensionals on the bottom piece, because I want to straddle my ribbon here. Prayers speak best when we don't have words. Exactly. That is so much truth. Okay. I lost my big dimensionals again, so I'm going to use these edges here. Actually, I can see them. I just decided to do this. Okay, so we're straddling. And I'm going to put some down on these edges too. So it'll sort of hold my ribbon in place too. Okay, so peeling all these off. It's so funny that the mini dimensionals have these such wide edges on them. Did I get all 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. It didn't seem like I had pulled 4 off, but they were all sticky. Alright, so we're going to put this, center it, and put this right here. And then I want to, I feel like this is too plain on the side, so I'm going to put, I'm going to do white ones, I guess, or clear ones. I'm going to do it all over the card, but also add a little bling to this part here. Put it in the middle. One up. One down. Now it's not an odd number, but this is odd and this is odd, so that might work. Oh, you are still here. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, so here's my finished card. Now, obviously, you could do more with this if you wanted to, but this is plenty. Okay, so I'm going to put you back up and show you my cards better. I'm going to upside down you, put you backwards, bring you up for the unnecessary close-up, and adjust this a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, so here is my card. I wanted there to be bling, but I didn't want it to be too bold. Alright, and then here, I can't even see for it all. There we go, that's good. For a sec I thought it was backwards, I couldn't read it. Okay, so there's that one. This one's a naked one though, sorry Cheryl. Thank you, I'm glad that you guys like them. This one turned out kind of good, I like it. Can you see this, the stitch with Whimsy. I like that. So did you see on that one, did I show you that one? They have them that this die has ones that this is basically the whole size of the outside of the card, and then there's one a little bit smaller. So I like that you have both for the words and for the card base itself. Thank you, Lenny and Cheryl. Okay, so here's this one more time. And then I have one last one that I did not make. I told you that I made it ahead of time. I wanted something a little bit masculine. It has ribbon on it. Technically, I don't think ribbon is masculine, but these colors definitely are. And they're like another one that I shared with you last week. But this is actually from the Pansy Petals one again. So I wanted to show you how versatile the designer paper is. So I did 3 different designs that have the evening evergreen and the soft succulent in these. And then this is another one of the stitched with Whimsy dies. This is, I miss my stitched shapes. I didn't have a square, but this one, oh, this one I fussy cut. Okay, so I'll show you this again. So this is how it is die cut. You just get the stitching, but it's easy. I do not fussy cut typically, but this is easy enough. And you sort of have, you know how when you use dies you get the little border edge around it, like where the die itself pressed into it. So I could just follow that line to cut this out. So I got this square, and oh, and I used some leaves. You can use any leaves, but I used some leaves that were kind of shaped like this designer paper one, and stamped off a couple times with soft succulent. And then the words are from Sunny Sayings. I told you I used all sorts of products for these. I just kept thinking of things. Sunny Sentiments. I better show you that. I used this with my watercolor shapes a couple weeks ago. So I used this one in Evening Evergreen. Yeah, I think it looks good for a man. I would think so anyway, but I'm not a man, so I don't know. I'm not sure if they would have a problem with the ribbon. Okay, so that's all. I'm not sure if I'm going to give away that last one or not. I didn't make it on here, but I might give it away. I'm not sure. So I have 2 cards at least. So remember, to be entered into my drawing for the cards that I made on my live, share my video, and then make sure that you tell me that you did, because not everybody's settings let me see that you did that. So, yes, do that and then come back and tell me. One other thing, thru, yeah, it's not a bow. I don't often do a bow. It does happen, especially lately. It seems like I did a bow on a couple things recently, but I don't usually do that. Knots are typical. So I don't know if you remember or not, but I had mentioned last week that I thought about doing a well, I called it a mystery stamping, but it's not truly a mystery stamping thing. It was a stamp with me kind of thing where I show you everything that you need. I thought about doing that this week, and it was available for me to, remember I was going to copy one from our DDM. I was going to do that, but I have an appointment today, and I didn't want to go too long, and I didn't want to cut things short or be late or whatever. So I am planning on it for next week. So I will, I'm not sure if I'm going to get together my own picture of the stuff that I'm going to use and the list for you to pull together, or if I'm just going to use Shannon's picture. It probably would work just fine. But you're going to need the same basic kind of things. It's a same kind of class where, what do we call it? Double Wonder class was what it was called. It's been a year now, I think, over a year. This one is called Pick 6 Wonder. I think is what it's called. Same kind of concept. We're going to be making 14 cards is what she said. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but we're going to be doing that. So, and you can use 6x6 or 12x12. It doesn't matter. So keep in mind some colors that you're going to want to use, or some designer paper that you want to use. Same basic things are what we're going to need. Designer paper, coordinating cardstock. I'll give you the list for sure later, but just to get your mind thinking. Designer paper, coordinating cardstock, a punch, some ribbon, preferably a dark coordinating ink color so that you can see your words well. I prefer dark words anyway. Your paper trimmer, because you're going to be cutting, not me. Maybe bone folder if you like your creases really hard. Anyway, so be thinking of that. I will post it for sure by Monday so that you can see the complete list of what you need. And we're going to stamp together on Wednesday. Now, if you don't have the time, or you watch from work with or without sound, you can always come back and watch it, like some of you watch the replay later. But if you want to stamp with me, I'll give you a list of what you can do to get your stuff ready to stamp with me. So, that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sharing. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.